Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we'll discuss all about the tax on sending money abroad. Well, from the 1st of July 2023, in respect of all foreign payments being made outside India, you would have to pay a tax called tax collected at source, otherwise known as TCS, at the rate of 20% on the value of such foreign payments. Well, let's understand this further. Now, the obvious question is, on what all payments would this TCS of 20% be applicable? Well, literally everything. If you're giving money as gift, if you're giving money to your relatives as loan, if you're going to a foreign exchange dealer and exchanging your INR for a foreign currency, let's say dollars, if you're paying a foreign travel operator for the purpose of a leisure trip abroad, if you want to invest in the equity shares of a country outside India, let's say the US IT stocks. And finally, if you want to buy property anywhere outside India for which you have to take money from India to buy the property outside India. And for all these payments, TCS of 20% shall be applicable. Well, there's something called as a Liberalized Remittance Scheme or LRS. This scheme, as the name indicates, is a scheme under which you as an individual in a particular year can send any amount outside India up to a limit of $250,000, which comes around 2 crores. Even under this scheme, TCS of 20% will apply. So if you exceed $250,000, then TCS will also apply. If you send any money within the range of $250,000, TCS will still apply. The benefit of LRS or Liberalized Remittance Scheme is that if you keep up to the limit of $250,000, then RBI approval is not required. It's otherwise known as the automatic route. But the moment you exceed $250,000 in a year, you'll have to go via the RBI and then take the approval and all that. But even under the LRS or the Liberalized Remittance Scheme, you still have to pay this TCS of 20%. Well, let's understand this entire game through the help of an example. Let's say you are in India and you want to remit $10,000, say to US, for which upfront the bank will collect $2,000, which is 20% of 10,000 from you as TCS. So in other words, basically you will have to source for $12,000 because 2,000 will go to the bank and 10,000 is what you plan to remit outside the country to US. This $2,000 as TCS is equivalent today to $1,60,000, which is, if you convert it by the exchange rate of 80 rupees per dollar. And this 1,60,000 which you pay today as TCS, as tax, is something which you will get back as tax credit when you file your income tax return few months down the line. So what you pay initially from your pocket as TCS is something that you'll get as tax credit at a later point of time. Well, just to understand tax credit, I've taken the case of the same example. Let's say you have $10,000 and you want to make a payment to US, on which you have to upfront remit $2,000, which is 20% TCS, that comes to 1,60,000 rupees. Now let's say in that particular year in which you made the foreign remittance and you pay TCS, your annual income in India from Indian sources is only 5 lakhs of rupees. So technically, if your annual income is only 5 lakhs, you pay zero income tax when you file your ITR, and you claim this 1,60,000 rupees which you initially paid as TCS and claim it as a refund. Well, if you have some tax to pay, that is if your annual income is slightly more than 5 lakhs, let's say 6 lakhs, 7 or 10 or 15 lakhs, then first calculate your tax on your total income minus what you already paid as TCS upfront to the bank before making the foreign remittance. The remaining amount is what you have to pay as tax. If that becomes negative, you get a refund. If that becomes positive, it is a balanced tax that you have to pay only when you file, at the time when you file your ITR or income tax return. Well, are there any exceptions to this 20% TCS rule? Yes, there are. If you make any foreign payments outside the country and if you can link it to health and education, then TCS of 20% will not apply. Rather, TCS of 5% will apply if the foreign payments are exceeding INR 7 lakhs of rupees. So tomorrow, if you're making any payment to fund the education of your son and that payment is 5 lakhs, then there's no 20% TCS, there's no 5% TCS. But that payment is exceeding 7 lakhs, then it is not 20%, you have to pay a TCS of 5%, which is a lower rate since it exceeds the 7 lakh rupee limit. Well, otherwise on all payments, whether it is for sending to relatives, buying IT stocks, buying property, going for a trip, for everything else, TCS of 20% will apply. Only in respect of this health and education payment, for which you have to establish the link or the nexus with the person collecting tax, only for those type of payments, TCS of 5% is applicable if it exceeds 7 lakhs. Well, in my opinion, this jump from 5%, which was the tax rate earlier, to 20% is considerably quite high. Earlier, you at least had the limit of 7 lakh rupees. Now there is no limit. Even if you remit $1, still you will have to upfront pay TCS and claim that amount as tax credit when you file your income tax return. So this has become very high. It's become quite expensive for you to go abroad, to send money abroad for purposes other than health and education. The objective of the government here is to bridge a gap, because what people used to do is that they used to send $2 lakh, which roughly comes to around 1.6 crores, and they used to show their income in India as 5 lakhs only, and then avoid filing any income tax return, paying any tax. So to bridge this disproportion that the government has observed here, they wanted to tax all foreign payments at a high rate of 20%, because once you shell out 20% of your foreign payments, which is a considerable amount of money from your pocket, you'll automatically will have to file your income tax return, because only when you file your income tax return, you'll get back that money that you initially paid as TCS. Well, I hope I was able to make things clear through this particular video. If you like the video, please do show your support to us by hitting the like button. If you want more videos like these on a regular basis through way of notifications, then also support us by hitting the subscribe button. Till then, take care and thank you.